Welcome to the second part of this presentation. I do hope you've been able to watch from the beginning to the end the very first part of the presentation. Just in case you haven't done so, please just make sure that you watch the first part of this presentation. It's absolutely very important. There are a lot of important things that were said in that first part. So do well to watch it from its very beginning to the very end before you proceed with this second part. So in this second part, I'm going to be dwelling so much on the other aspects which I mentioned on the presentation plan that you saw in the first part. So I'm going to be dwelling so much on how to earn money from the ULTIMA chain. How do we earn money from this ULTIMA chain? These are the three principal methods of getting to earn money from the ULTIMA chain. First, you can get to earn through staking. You can get to earn through staking. Now, what is this staking as a matter of fact? Staking, in fact, you can get to stake a certain quantity of ULTIMA coins. It could either be for a period of 1 year or a period of 3 years. Now, those who started with staking, especially on the smart chain, those who did the staking on the smart chain, the staking there was done, the very first time that the company tried the staking technology there. The staking was meant to last for just a couple of 12, in fact, let me say 12 months. So for a maximum period of 12 months. But right now, on the ULTIMA chain fully, any staking which is done there, I think is still done for a period of 1 year. If I'm not making a mistake, yes, it should still be for 1 year, not 3 years. 3 years is for freezing, splitting and freezing. Now, what is this staking as a matter of fact? I want people to be able to understand the difference between the staking, splitting, and freezing. When exactly is it advisable for me to do staking? Very simple. Now, let me show you how to do staking or how to take advantage of the staking. Let me share something with you. Okay. Very simple. Now, take a look at this. Now, this is, for instance, the content of a smart wallet. I don't want to use a physical smart wallet, but I will use these charts or these pictures and explain it for you to be able to understand. Now, this is how it works. What do we stake? As a matter of fact, what is even the asset that we are staking? You can only get to stake. For now, you can only get to stake either ULTIMA tokens or ULTIMA coins. Let me take the case of ULTIMA tokens, for instance, still on the smart chain. If I want to stake ULTIMA tokens, how do I go about it? Once you log into your wallet, once you sign up into your wallet, this is natural by default. This is how your wallet is going to appear. This is somebody's wallet that I'm using for this demonstration. Now, this is how the person's wallet is going to look like. And if this person is interested in staking ULTIMA tokens, if this person wants to stake ULTIMA tokens, then the person is going to, first of all, click on this option, splits. Once the person clicks on split, you see, this is it here. This split shows that the person has already clicked here, selected split. Then the person is going to go ahead and select ULTIMA token. This is ULTIMA tokens here. You see that the case of this person already had 0.01141 for ULTIMA tokens frozen here. Now, assuming that you still want to have yours frozen or staked, as a matter of fact, we are staking them, even though you see it written there frozen. Normally, the staking also has freezing. That staking is simply you freezing something in order to get something. Now, so once you do the staking in this option, this is how it's going to look like. Assuming now, let me take the case of this person with this wallet. This is the quantity that the person had already staked. Now, if I click on ULTIMA token here, once I click on it, this is how the page is going to appear. It's going to appear like this. Now, you find this button, receive, you find the send button, then you find this button where we claim rewards from. Then you find this other button where freezing is done. So when you click on this third button, this is exactly how the page is going to look like. The page is going to look like this. Now, here is a tricky thing I want you to understand. This is where you will need to decide whether it is advantageous for you to stake your ULTIMAs. It might not necessarily be ULTIMA tokens. It could be ULTIMA coins. So how do you determine whether it is advantageous or disadvantageous for you to do staking? That's what I want to show you here. Because it's not in every situation that you should go and stake. Because instead of staking, you might realize that it is more advantageous for you to do freezing instead of doing the staking. So you need to understand the difference first. Now, let me begin first of all with this aspect of staking. Now, when you check for this person, we are using this person's wallet as a case in point. How many tokens, how many ULTIMA tokens has this person been able to freeze? That's after clicking on this third button. This is how the window is going to appear for the person. Now, up here, you see my frozen token. This one, the person has successfully frozen what quantity? 0.011414, which was what we saw here. This is it here. This is it appearing at the top here. Now, the next thing we need to check is what is the total quantity of ULTIMA tokens that have been frozen by others, by other people alongside you, meaning that this your own quantity is also involved in this. So what is the total quantity of ULTIMA tokens that have been frozen? At the moment when this screenshot was taken, it stood at 6,891.991638. It means that all the ULTIMA tokens that have been frozen globally, means that all the users around the world who have been able to do staking, this is the total quantity of ULTIMA tokens that have been combined together and put inside this particular pool, this staking pool. That is the quantity that has been locked inside. Meaning this quantity was supposed to be in circulation, either on exchanges or in people's wallets and so on, but this one has been locked up inside the liquidity pool. Now, here is a tricky part. Inside this pool, those who have been able to stake their coins, their ULTIMA tokens inside this pool through the freezing process, what is the reward that they will be getting every day? Because once you do the staking like that, there are other fractions of ULTIMA tokens that you will be getting every day as a reward that the system pays you for locking a huge quantity of tokens inside this pool. Now you have 2.5 ULTIMA tokens that are shared proportionately according to the number of ULTIMA tokens that each person participating inside this pool has been able to freeze. Meaning that we have a total of 6,891 point this quantity. So if we divide 2.5 by 6,891 point this, it therefore means that anybody who has one ULTIMA token frozen, what will be the person's reward per day? Because we have a total of 6,891 point this tokens frozen. So if we divide 2.5 by 6,891, it therefore means that anybody who has at least one ULTIMA token frozen, this is it, is going to earn what quantity out of this 2.5. So if you divide 2.5 by this quantity, that is what gives you this value, price per one ULTIMA token. It means that somebody with one ULTIMA token frozen is going to be making what? 0.000362 ULTIMAs. That's the quantity that the person is going to make every day, assuming that this quantity continues to remain like this, meaning that new people do not come to freeze more. Because the more this quantity increases, meaning that the more people freeze, this quantity keeps increasing, then the reward for each ULTIMA also is going to be dropping. It's going to be dropping. So at the time when the screenshot was taken, it means that somebody with one ULTIMA token frozen in here through staking is going to be going home on daily basis with 0.00362. But now, corresponding to the value of the ULTIMA at the time this screenshot was taken, this quantity was synonymous to $2.51. Remember, the most important thing here is not the dollar quantity, it's not the dollar amount, but the quantity of ULTIMA. Because this quantity, though you see it fixed, but the dollar equivalent can vary depending on the price of the ULTIMA in the market. If ULTIMA goes down, even though this quantity is like this, it has not changed, the dollar equivalence will go down. If the price of this one, of one ULTIMA, moves upward in the market, even though this quantity has not changed, the dollar equivalence is going to increase. So the most important thing is not this dollar. Don't always bother much looking at this dollar here. Always look at the quantity of ULTIMAs that you get from there. You see that this one has up to 3 zeros before you meet a digit different from zero. So now, how do you make the decision on whether you should participate in this pool by staking your coins or not? What you need to ask yourself is a very honest question. What is the quantity of ULTIMAs that you have now that you want to stake? Assuming that the quantity of ULTIMAs you have is just, let's say, 0.000. Okay, let me first of all finish with this person. This is the quantity that this person had frozen. And you are told that somebody who has one full ULTIMA will only make what per day? $2.51. Then this person has just 0.01111. What do you think is going to make? If somebody with one full ULTIMA can make just $2.51, what do you think the person with 0.011 is going to be making? So to know what this person is going to be making, simply multiply 0.011414 by $2.51. So take this quantity, multiply it by $2.51. You will see the fraction of this $2.51 that this person is going to be earning every day, assuming that the price of one ULTIMA token remains the price at which this particular screenshot was taken, and that the quantity of ULTIMAs frozen in here stays like this. That is the amount that the person is going to be earning every day. So the question is, if you realize that the pool is already almost saturated, there are already a huge quantity of ULTIMAs stocked inside here, and your own quantity that you want to freeze is this small. If you freeze, it's like dropping a spoon of water into an ocean. It's like this quantity will enter in here and disappears completely, which means that the reward that the person is getting also per day is extremely very small, which means this person can only count on one thing, that the price of the ULTIMA should keep moving upward, so that the person too can be earning something substantial, without which then this person is virtually going to be getting nothing every day. So it means that with a small quantity like this, check the pool. Is the pool already containing too many ULTIMAs frozen inside? If the answer is yes, then it is not beneficial for you to stake your ULTIMA tokens. So for you to stake inside a pool which is already saturated like this, you must have at least a good quantity of ULTIMA tokens for you to stand a chance of making something substantial every day. So that is how you need to do the evaluation. Don't just get into a pool and say, okay, because I have this quantity of assets, let me just take. No, evaluate the quantity of assets already locked in there. If it's already too high, then it will not be very, very advisable for you to stake your own quantity of ULTIMAs, for instance, unless you have a huge quantity of ULTIMAs, not the quantity as small as, look at this one. What's even the quantity? What's the dollar equivalence of this quantity? $79.36, which is very small. So if you stake in here, the only advantage you have is that this quantity of coins which you stake in here, they will stay frozen for the length of time that they have to stay frozen until you have the possibility to get them unfrozen. So it's like a technical way of you getting to save your assets for the future, which is also good. So that is it. Now, let us look at the second option outside staking. We are going to look at the second one. So instead of doing staking, now for somebody who has a good quantity of ULTIMA tokens, let's say somebody who has about 1 ULTIMA token, 2 ULTIMA tokens, 3, 4, 5 ULTIMA tokens, and you find yourself inside that staking pool, then multiply the quantity of ULTIMA tokens you have frozen by the $2.5 every day. That's assuming that the price stays at that level. But if the price moves upward, that person can actually be sure of making something substantial every day from the system. It's as simple as that. Now, what is the second way of making money from this system? Is through the splitting technology. Now, it means that we are dealing here with liquidity pools. Let's go back to the pictures, and we see when it is advantageous to go with splits or with splitting instead of doing staking. Now, we have different types of splits. We have different types of splits. For instance, I've shown you some of them. You have the gold split, you have the premium split. Even though some of those splits, we cannot get them anymore. We can't get them again. But assuming right now, I think it was possible in the recent past to go in for booster splits. But even right now, as we speak, there is no splitting taking place again in the system. So if you were hoping to purchase splits, it is no longer possible. The company is not transiting from the splitting system completely to a trading system. So it's no longer possible to get splits. So assuming that you have the possibility to get splits, maybe you are buying the splits from somebody. If you can get the splits, then you choose the pool corresponding to the split in question. I don't know, it could be a booster split, it could be, I don't know, maybe gold split, it could be whichever split of your choosing. So also go into the liquidity pool that contains those splits. Check the quantity of splits also inside, just like we did check the quantity of ULTIMA tokens frozen here. So if you go into the liquidity pool in question and you discover that the number of splits that are already locked inside is too high, and you check the quantity that you are able to afford, you ask yourself, if the quantity of splits locked in there is already this high, and the quantity that you have is this, what is the quantity of ULTIMAs that are shared to all the splits inside that pool? Do the mathematics, divide this amount of reward that is shared to all the splits in a day, divide it by the number of splits already locked in there. you will see the amount that somebody with one split is earning per day. Then multiply that amount by your own quantity of splits, and then you ask yourself, is this what I'm going to be making per day? Does it make sense? Is it sufficient or is insufficient for me? That will guide you as to whether it is advantageous for you to do the staking or to rather go in and purchase a package that will give you splits, and then you evaluate the quantity of splits that you get from the package. Then you evaluate also the pool where the particular split is supposed to be lodged. And then from there, you can do the analysis and see which one is advantageous. But now, to be on the safer side, it is now possible for almost everybody to exploit this third option, which I can say with all certainty that is like one of the best options. That if somebody were to ask my own opinion, it's not a financial advice though. People have their ways of doing the analysis. This is the safest one for everybody to use. Why do I say so? Simply because if you go with the freezing option, this is what happens. Let me go back again to the slide. If you go with the splitting option, for instance, you can decide to the freezing option, not splitting. If you want to freeze, what does it mean? Freezing can be done at different levels. I'm not talking about the freezing which is shown here. For instance, you see this frozen. No, this is not the freezing. Understand the freezing from this. Freezing simply means the company tells you, okay, with this particular asset that you have, ULTIMA tokens or ULTIMA coins, even though the freezing that is taking place now is mostly in terms of ULTIMA coins. So the company simply says, if you are interested in any product of mine, use a certain quantity of ULTIMA coins, freeze them against that particular product, and those coins will stay frozen for a minimum period of 3 years. Then the system is going to assume that that product has been purchased. It means that that product from that moment automatically becomes yours. Then every passing day, because of those quantity of ULTIMA coins that you've frozen, you will be getting daily rewards because they are frozen in a particular liquidity pool, which you'll be receiving rewards from every day. That's number one, just like it is happening with splitting, just like it happens with splitting and freezing. So you'll be getting those daily rewards every day. But the most juicy part of it is the fact that 3 years later, you can have those, in fact, you can have the frozen ULTIMA coins returned to you, beside the fact that whatever product it is that you're interested in has already become yours. So you freeze against the product automatically becomes yours, number one. Then because you've done that freezing, every day you will get daily rewards paid to you in ULTIMA coins, number two. 3 years later, the original, in fact, the total quantity of the frozen coins are returned to you. That's number three. That is why freezing is much more advantageous. Freezing is much more advantageous when you do it. And this freezing is mostly done on the ULTIMA chain. It's mostly done on the ULTIMA chain. So right now, the good news I have for everybody is we have a couple of products on the ULTIMA chain right now that people can get them relatively for free by simply freezing their ULTIMA coins. By the end of this month of September 2025, it will no longer be possible for anybody to get any of the company's product by freezing ULTIMA coins. If you need any company's product, you have to buy them with physical cash. So if I were you, I would take that quick decision right now. If you have any ULTIMA tokens, or ULTIMA coins anywhere, please, it's not a financial advice though, use those ULTIMA coins. Freeze them against, maybe there are several packages. Either you are buying a package for U Energy, which I'm still going to talk about, or you are buying a robot, a trading robot. That is an amazing product that we have in the system right now. I'm going to talk more about the robot when we eventually get there. So that is exactly what we all need to understand. We all need to understand with this system right now. So I've just done the explanation, showing you the various ways in which you can earn money from this system through staking, through splitting, and through freezing. That is outside the other conventional methods of making money, meaning from trading, from the network referral program, and so on and so forth. I'm not talking about those ones. This one is mostly for those who are really not much or really not concerned about the trading aspect of it, as well as the network referral program of it. Now, let us look at the advantages and disadvantages of the splitting technology. Earn passive income daily without doing any work. In fact, this one is, I've already summarized all of that in the explanation I just gave. Now, these are some of them which are still written down. So you can still go through this one at your quiet time. Then the disadvantages involved, you can also get to read all of them here. The fuller the pool becomes, the lesser the quantity of coins you get. That's one of the major inconveniences with this splitting technology. Not very beneficiary to small investors. If you are a small investor, the more the pool grows, I mean, in terms of the number of splits that has locked in inside, the reward that a small investor gets becomes smaller. And especially if status quo is applied. Status quo simply means a reduction in the quantity of ULTIMA assets that are shared per pool. Per pool means that if we have 10 pools, the 10 pools might not actually be offering the same quantity of ULTIMA coins per day. But now there's a period when the company applies status quo. Status quo does not have a fixed timetable. The company only brings status quo when it thinks it is necessary. It's not like it's a regular routine, no. So when they apply the status quo, it therefore means they can step in and say, okay, henceforth the quantity of ULTIMAs that are shared in this particular liquidity pool or the other one will be brought down by maybe half, for instance. So that one is like doing halving per pool. Now, it's different from halving, which is like that of Bitcoin. The general halving is usually done at the level of the main pool, which is the red pool, the main pool through which new coins are brought into existence. So that one, it is rationed from that level. So those are some of the techniques that the company is using, to be able to improve on the price value of the coin. Now, let us look at the ULTIMA trading robot, which is one of the most amazing products. But please, I'm not going to talk about this particular robot or trading robot in this particular part, which is the part 2. I want you to be able to play this video recording again from the beginning. Watch it again till this particular position. And then in the third part of it, that is when I'm going to be dwelling so much on our trading robot. As a matter of fact, we have 2 types of trading robots. The second one is in the pipeline as we speak. So I'm going to be dwelling so much on the robot as a product. I will show you exactly how to make a lot of money with the trading robot of ULTIMA. I will show you also what makes the difference between the ULTIMA trading bots and the many other bots which are offered by many other platforms out there. You see the major difference, then you understand that this is indeed a safe place for everybody to be. So thank you so much for watching this part. And like I said, please make an effort to watch this recording over and over, and above all, make an effort to watch the part 3 of this, which is going to be essentially talking about our company robots. Very, very important.